Good morning, and we are in section 45, and we're going to start on verse 25, actually 26, but I just wanted to get that in there. Actually, let's start on 26, because we don't need 25, other than it says the times of the Gentiles shall be fulfilled. We'll see that again further down. I thought I'd marked it, but we're talking about the last days, but he's also talking about what he told his disciples in Jerusalem. So we got to remember that this is what he told them, and he's telling us, or through Joseph Smith, telling the church today about the second coming and about the things that are going to happen. And it says, in that day shall be heard of wars and rumors and wars, and the whole earth shall be in commotion. And men's hearts shall fail them, and they shall say, Christ delayeth his coming until the end of the earth. Now, there's a few things here that I thought about. One thing is that in the Come Follow Me, there's a video of President Nelson speaking of a time when he was on an airplane that had to do an emergency landing, and how he and his wife felt peaceful, and how he was talking about hearts failing. And often I think when we talk about hearts failing, we talk about fear. I know exactly what he's talking about with the plane, because I remember some time ago when I had a lot smaller family, and we were traveling back from visiting my wife's parents in England, back to America, and we'd gone, well, I guess we were almost an hour out from the airport or something like that. And all of a sudden there was just this like thunk or whatever, a really loud noise, and the plane twisted quite a bit. It felt like, wow, this is weird. And then it corrected, and a few minutes later they get on and say, well, we're having difficulty with it, or there was, so I don't know. Anyway, we find out that a bolt had come loose somewhere on the landing gear, and they were a bit worried about the landing gear not opening up properly and everything like that, and so they told us what we have to do to brace for a emergency landing. And we were all getting ready, and you could hear people actually sobbing, and the little girl was crying a lot. And I sat there in the same peace that President Nelson felt, and I felt really calm. And in his talk, he talked about men's hearts failing them, and we often think of it in that same sense of fear. The hearts fail them because of fear, and it might be just that. But today, or this week, as I've been reading this and pondering it, it really struck me that I don't think he's talking about fear. It could be some people are fearful. But look what comes. It does talk about wars and rumors of wars and things that really can be fearful. And it says, and men's hearts shall fail them, and they shall say that Christ delayeth his coming until the end of the earth. So what I'd done is I'd looked at some of the things that he says about hearts, and he only talks like 2 or 3 times about it. But notice in verse 6, he commands his church to harden not their hearts. Harden not your hearts. Well, that has nothing to do with fear. It's just saying don't harden your hearts. If your heart goes hardened, then your heart is going to fail you, really. And it doesn't say anything about fear. And then in 27, which we're just about to read, the love of men shall wax cold, and iniquity shall abound. The heart is often connected with the love of men. And if the love of men wax cold, then isn't your heart going to fail them? And it still has nothing to do with fear. I'm not taking away the fact that some people will be fearful and that it will feel like their hearts are failing them in that sense. But again in 29, but they receive it not. So let's read on and see how this fits in with this. And when the times of the Gentiles come, that's again the times of the Gentiles, meaning our time, is come in, a light shall be break forth among them that sit in darkness, and it shall be the fullness of my gospel. That sounds hopeful, not fearful. But they receive it not, for they perceive not the light, and they turn their hearts from me because of the precepts of men. So here again, they turn their hearts from the Lord. So we shouldn't harden our hearts. We should fortify against our love waxing cold. And we should not allow our hearts to be turned from the Savior because of the precepts of the precepts of men. That again has nothing to do with fear. And I guess it could, but not specifically fear. It says they receive it not, for they perceive not the light, and they turn their hearts from me. It's more about the perception of God and not believing in him, not the fear. So I see that in a different light, shall we say? Pardon the pun. But that hearts of men will fail them because they will turn their hearts away from the Savior, not because they're fearful of all the things that are happening. And in that generation shall the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. That's the third time they've mentioned the times of the Gentiles, at least in that time. And remember, this is talking to the disciples in Jerusalem, and the Lord's just recounting it to Joseph Smith, as if he's saying, this is what happened, you know? And there shall be men standing in that generation that shall not pass until they see an overflowing scourge, for a desolating sickness shall cover the land. But my disciples shall stand in holy places, and shall not be moved. But among the wicked men shall lift up their voices and curse God and die. That sounds pretty dramatic. But it doesn't seem that it has to do with fear as much as usually if you curse somebody, it's more out of hate or envy or other things like that. And there shall be earthquakes also in diverse places, and many desolations. Yet men will harden their hearts against me, and they will take up the sword one against another, and they shall kill one another. Now when I, the Lord, had spoken these words unto my disciples, they were troubled. Now here is the trouble. If anything says fear, it's they were troubled. But it has nothing to do with the thing. This is the disciples saying they were troubled, not that men's hearts will fail them and they were troubled. I said unto them, this is the Savior speaking to them, be not troubled. For when all these things shall come to pass, ye may know that the promises which have been made unto you shall be fulfilled. That, to me, again, speaks highly of the fact that we should not be troubled, and that we should look to these as promises, that you'll see the signs, you can look forward to the signs, and then those things will be fulfilled. The coming of the Savior will be fulfilled. And that's a great thing, you know. And when the light shall begin to break forth, it shall be with them like unto a parable, which I will show you. Ye look and behold the fig trees, and ye see them with your eyes. And see how he's doing this now. He's saying, you know, men's hearts may fail them, but for you, you're going to know that this is just one step closer to me coming. You look at the fig trees and you see with your eyes, and you say, when they begin to shoot forth and their leaves are yet tender, that summer is now nigh at hand. Even so it shall be in the day when they shall see all these things, then shall they know that the hour is nigh. And it shall come to pass that he that feareth me and looketh forth for the great day of the Lord to come, even for the signs of the second coming of man, of the Son of Man, signs of the coming of man, Son of Man. I've got to stop putting words in there. So look at that. Looking forth for the great day of the Lord to come, even for the signs of the coming of the Son of Man. I think that is where we should have our focus. If we have our focus on the coming of the Son of Man, then our hearts will not fail us. We will not fear And in truth, we will become more like the Savior each day. And as we stand in holy places and stand steadfast, then we will be able to see Him as He is at the end of it. And I hope today that you can turn your heart to the Savior and feel Him close to you and feel the blessings that He gives you and look for the signs of the times as an indication that He may be coming. And I hope you can do this. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And we'll see you tomorrow.